Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Sam. I am kind of chipping away when I get moments of time on the Ryan Tedder course thing. And I thought, you know what? I'll be a little bit vulnerable and share with you all what I have so far. I haven't spent a ton of time on this just between some kind of life craziness, but I thought, you know what? I could share with you just kind of what I was able to do quickly, kind of following his lead and guide, and maybe you would get something out of this. So it was very interesting to watch him work and see how simple it was. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to stick as close as I can to kind of his method and game plan for writing a song. So I kind of started humming something and tapping my foot. He worked in a little bit slower BPM. I ended up at 115. It's really like what he's doing is like a pop song. So I'm going to play for you here. You know what I'm going to do to make sure that this all goes to the video here is I'm going to do deductive. I'm going to delete everything. Sorry, not delete, mute everything. So this is what I started with. And kind of similar to what he did, I kind of stuck to his game plan just to see if I couldn't kind of recreate it. And he kind of just came up with a simple idea, based off of what is common chord progressions. And I thought, yep, that's so smart. That's pop music right there. So here is my first loop, just so you can kind of see how I did this. And I did this really fast. I'm talking, I was in here like 30 minutes the other night and 30 minutes tonight. I'm pretty behind on the course, but okay, here's the guitar. And I think with anything like this too, you kind of go with what you know a little bit too, even when you're doing a course thing like this. So, that is an old guitar thing that I use all the time. And was one of the first songs I learned was she's got a fast car. That's not the right key for me to sing it in, but Tracy Chapman, Fast Car kind of fingering is what I kind of stole a little bit, that from. And so then the next thing I did was kind of again in line with what he did was I add some snaps and I did a little bit of compression. I got these snaps from I Want That Sound. And I put some Valhalla reverb on them, very similar to what he did. Let me just show you my settings here. Gosh, this is so similar to what he did. Hold on. It's this one right here. So there's my settings for the reverb, and I put an EQ after it because the snaps kind of have some high end. So, here it is with snaps. I'll just kind of quickly add the parts in as they go. So add snaps. And very already pop sounding. And those snaps are not hard to find, not difficult to do this stuff. I've done it a million times before. It's just, kind of following his lead. Kick, 4 on the floor kind of next to give it a little bit of a groove and a dance feel. I kind of really, the kick is not prominent in my mix. And then the next thing I did after that was I got out my bass and I thought, I could play along with that in 2 seconds. So here's my next addition. Playing simple, yet kind of a little bit of movement. And I think, that's kind of the trick to some of this. And next thing I did was I grabbed an acoustic guitar. Oh, the next thing after that, I looped it all. So I looped the electric, the snaps, and the kick. I looped it all the way, I don't know, to like about 1 minute and 40 seconds. And then next, I grabbed my acoustic guitar and thought, well, I'm going to give this kind of organic feel too. I used 2 mics, stereo mics, but I knew like the acoustic guitar wasn't going to be the prominent part, but I also knew that could be something that adds build. So you can see here, I start off playing very kind of chunky and mellowy, and then I open up the acoustic guitar as the song goes on to give it build. So it sounds like this. So I'm just kind of playing a feel-good thing, like just kind of like what Ryan Tedder would do. And then I added some piano in there and ended up muting it. But after this, I think the next thing I did was added some hi-hat. Ooh, let me show you where I got this hi-hat from. This hi-hat is from a free Pro Tools software called Boom. And what I did was Boom will like play like a old school, like electro kind of sounding beat. And it plays with all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm like, nope, don't want this, mute, 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 mute. All I took was the hi-hat off of here. So here's what it sounds like with my hi-hat in there. And I always like how programs like this have a little bit of swing, and I like the control. I mean, I could unmute the ride and the crash or the snare. That might give it, oh, what does it sound like with the snare in there maybe? You know, and maybe at some point later in the song, I might add that snare in. It's kind of cool. So that's where I got my hi-hats from. And then next, I quickly started pulling up a couple synth sounds because I thought, well, let's see what I can do that's modern to add it in. I went to the new Massive that's in Native Instruments. Hackboard was the name of the one I found. And I played here's my notes, very, very simple. And just like he was doing, quantize. So here's what it sounds like with one plucky sound, just doing like octaves in there. And I go bunk, bunk, bunk. Like every once in a while, I threw in the octave higher just to give it something cool. And then here is a pad that's also massive. All I did is sometimes instead of going and finding another thing, I just drag this over. And ooh, this is one that I wanted to show you that I'm creating some movement with let me mute everything except for this pad. I call this one a pad, but really it's probably more of a pulse. I should have maybe named it that. I'm going to mute everything. So here's what I did with this. Oh, you know what? I'm going to turn off all this stuff first so you can hear it without and then with. So I added some effects on here. So here's what it sounds like. And now let me show you the first thing I added was a filter that's doing this. So listen to this. And then another plugin that I use all the time to give things movement, and sure enough, Ryan Tedder was using this on his song, is this one. So here's what it sounds like with this going. And then lastly, I kind of used an EQ to take off all the lows and highs, because here's what I want this to do. I want this sound to kind of partner with these other sounds like electric and acoustic. So and maybe this other sound. So here it is without the beat and the bass. And that pad with that effect on there, that filter effect, kind of to some reason started to shape the song for me, because it goes so it ended up on this 16th note with a little bit of swing in there. And here's my settings. I just felt like that kind of started to do something that ended up starting to shape my song a little bit more even. The piano I'm going to leave muted because I don't think it's going to make it to the end. And then Ryan Tedder, what he does for songwriting is he kind of mumbles a melody without like really knowing the lyrics. He's kind of like, watermelon banana, type thing where he's just watermelon banana, like he's just using like not even words. And he also does it with auto tune on, which I thought was really interesting because I am not a singer and I get weird insecurities about, singing with that kind of stuff on too. So here is what I have so far with everything in and my melody idea, which is kind of highly auto tuned. And I'm just trying to follow his lead of kind of creating, a pop song and also trying to think about who would sing this song. I was thinking, this song that I'm creating almost has either, what is his name? Like a Matt, oh gosh, I'm blanking on his name, Kearney, or, what's the other guy that, my family will listen to sometimes. Ben Rector. So I was thinking almost like Ben Rector, Matt Kearney kind of pop type thing. So I was like trying to think like how would those guys kind of do a melody in my head, and that's what Ryan was encouraging us. So here it is, what I got so far. Whoa, you look around and you don't wanna fight. You go along and you get so excited, and when a lover nowhere to fight it, found it, nowhere to fight it. You wanna run and you don't wanna hide. When you see it, you don't wanna sleep at the end of the night. Oh, when you don't know it, you don't know where to find it. You look around and you don't wanna fight it. You love along and you get so excited. You wanna run and you don't wanna fight it. So when you know where to fight it. Ooh, oh, you don't know where. Ooh, and you don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, then around you done for. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and around it. Wanna know where you know I'm going. And I kind of put the piano in there at the end. So the piano, I don't know. I think it's too busy. And it wasn't quite making it a pop song. So I muted that. It might be doing some interesting stuff. Let me mute the vocal. It might be doing some interesting stuff right here. And that's kind of the beauty of what I'm learning here is to just kind of like go quick, run with it, try to go pop. Oh, another thing that's I kind of discovered doing this thing where you kind of record your mumbo jumbo lines with auto tune on, because I've never done that with my own voice. There was a couple sections where it did stuff where it kind of even made a new melody out of my melody because maybe I was so pitchy it was like picking new notes. But there was something it did that I thought, oh man, a really good singer could probably hear that and sing it. So, maybe it's kind of in a weird roundabout way making new melodies for me. I can't remember exactly where that was, but and when you look around, go along and you get so excited. Nowhere to fight it. You wanna run and you don't. Oh, when you don't know it. Yeah, there's little things in there I thought, oh, that almost made something that I like that's a melody. I would always try to do a song and have a better singer sing it than me. But that's what I got so far for Ryan Tedder's first song that we're kind of all making together. I know some of you are not in that course, but I thought, well, maybe they would get an idea or just something off of my song or follow along with my song and see, he had us pick something that was like, between 90 and 110, a mid-tempo thing. I went a little bit faster, and he encouraged everyone to like just follow chord progressions that are in pop music and popular. You can kind of go through the different decades and hear and see and find what's popular. So, all right, that's all I got today. I'm going to keep going on this, and the next step is writing lyrics, and I'm kind of just singing whatever, so that's not really my lyrics, but I'll figure it out as I go. All right, peace, everyone.